Dear friend, let's discover more of who we are together. Love, Haley and Amanda.
Hey, dear friend. I'm Haley. I'm Amanda. And we're dear friends. I like when I do it by myself, though, and I say, I'm Haley. I'm Amanda.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It's like you and I are one person.
Do you guys know how many names we've tried to think of for like our band, our podcast, our studio? And because we always want to say, I'm Haley, I'm Amanda, and we're good people.
Yeah, or like sister.
We're sister. And most of them have
Turn out
really
to be Haley and Amanda. I'm Haley, I'm Amanda, and we're Haley and Amanda.
When we first started our band, we went with good people, and we promoted it for a while.
And it was taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we couldn't stick with that. So we went to Haley and Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we are really excited this week because we are doing kind of a short episode, but it is a bright spot in your week, we're hoping. Before we get into it, it's a special book that is really near and dear to our hearts as in our friendship. But before we jump into it,
let's do our pledge.
We got to pledge it up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United Mates in America, and rarely in public is where we stand. One friendship, under God, indivisible. Live purdy. And just us for all. That's all. Amen.
And that's all.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
It's not patriotic, but it's friendriotic.
Ooh. Copyright.
Copywritten. So let me tell you a story.
But let me tell you something.
Let me tell you a story.
This book she's about to tell you about, it's like, this book, the author would be in support of us having a pledge.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's the kind of excited oomph of friendship that they would be like, man, wish we thought of that.
If they listened to our podcast, they would be like, these girls get it.
Okay, go ahead. Tell this story.
So the story. Amanda, she's a baby angel.
Okay.
And
that's nice of you to say.
About myself. Amanda's a baby angel going off to her first year of college away from family and friend, Haley. Not in plural friends, just Haley.
Family and friend.
And I went off to school in Florida. And I was really excited to get out of Dodge. Dodge, Texas is a really ugly... I'm kidding.
She used to live in a truck.
No. I was like one of those people who I love my family, super close to them, but whenever I was in high school, I felt like a super independent person, and I wanted to just jet and start my life as young people do. I had a lot of excitement around leaving home. And so I go to school in Florida, and I'm away from the people I love the most, but I was having a great time. And old Hales Bales.
I'd come to visit her. I would.
She came to visit. You were still in college, right? You had one. It was your senior year.
Mm-hmm. I visited you multiple times.
It was your junior year, actually. Or senior. Anyways.
Doesn't matter.
So she came to visit me. And the city I was living in was called Lakeland, Florida. It was right between Orlando and Tampa.
Is Orlando's girlfriend.
Orlando and Tampa. And I've got to tell you, I hated Florida's weather. You stepped outside and you're wet.
You stepped outside and you were wet.
You stepped outside and you were wet. This is sounding really gross.
It
the
is.
More we
you
see
gotta
it.
Stop it right now.
Okay, so I didn't love Florida, but I did have a life there. And I only stayed 1 year. But I was there, and Haley came to visit, and there were tons of lakes in Lakeland. Imagine your gin, just your new gin company. Imagine. And so we went on like a bicycle ride around the lake. We had been all day outdoors.
Took me to her favorite coffee shop.
Yes, I took her to all my spots, and then we went thrift shopping because we were poor as all get out, number one. And number two, this was a time in our life where thrift shopping was like...
We like to look trashy.
Well, no, but we did look trashy. But I'm saying that, don't you remember, like, there was a very significant time where it was like...
That's the only place I shop.
Yeah, but I loved it.
Yes, totally.
Like, you couldn't find me in a Target or something.
I didn't even know about stores.
No, we were always at thrift shops. So I was like, I got to take you to some, like, good places I found here. So we go to this thrift shop, and this was, like, one someone told me about that I hadn't gone to yet. Because I was asking people, like, I want to do an afternoon where I take Haley thrift store shopping, and there was, like, a girl, I think her name was Becca. How do I remember all this? She was like, you got to go to this store. So Haley and I go to this store, and it's kind of like a pretty unorganized hole-in-the-wall place. And instead of being like, they didn't really have a lot of clothes, they had a lot of, like, books and knickknacks. It was more like that. There wasn't like a clothing store type place. So we go, we're looking, her and I split up in the store. I find this book. She finds this book.
Do you know what the other book was? Did you just remember?
Yes. A Simpler Way. And if you've listened to this podcast at all, if this is your first episode, welcome. But almost every episode, we mention the book A Simpler Way by Margaret Wheatley.
Our tagline, slogan, mission of becoming more of who we are together is a quote from Simpler Way. That's how impactful it was. And we found it in this thrift store in Florida.
Haley randomly bought it. And
I liked the name. There's like a couple pictures in the front. I read like the first page. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I found this kids book.
Really?
I found this kids book called I Like You. And I'm like, Haley, look at this. Look at the words. And it's I Like You.
And it's adorable.
By Sandal Stoddard Warburg.
And actually, this book has gotten quite popular. Like, they started selling it more, and it kind of made a comeback.
But at the time, I had never heard of it.
And no one I was sharing about it had heard of it.
No, like, I had never...
I still have the first... You have a newer version, but a newer copy, but I still have the one we found at the store.
Yeah, because it just says, I like you, and it was kind of like, oh, I saw
That's
it,
so
and
sweet.
I was like, oh, Haley, I like you. And then I started reading it, and I was like, oh, my God, Haley,
the
read
words
this. It's so cute.
So
we loved the words so much, we actually wrote a song about it. Well, and when I say wrote a song, we just took the words from the book, but turned it into
music, and it was so sweet and energetic. And I actually, back then, I think that was one of people's favorite songs of ours.
People requested that we play it all the time because it was really sweet.
And we would sing it kind of to each other because it's talking about a really good friend that you like. So
it's super, super sweet book.
So
and this is like a book that, yes, it's a sweet kids book, but also if you have a dear friend,
this makes perfect sense.
You need to order this book off of Amazon.
Give it to them.
And give it to them because it's so sweet. So we're going to read the words of this kids book today. I know you're thinking, what have we done? You just wait. Don't turn us off. Wait. You're going to love it. Okay. So,
shall we take turns?
Yes.
Okay, so just stop when you think it's like a page turn.
Okay. So it says, I like you because you're a good person to like. I like you because when I tell you something special, you know it's special and you remember it a long, long time. You say, remember when you told me something special? And both of us remember.
Can we just pause? Because it sounds so dumb, but like that's exactly what happens.
And it's sweet.
You like your friends because they know when stuff's special,
and you remember it a long time. And
then
be like,
you
hey,
say, remember that?
It's so special.
But then
you
both remember.
It's like when Courtney the other day said, think of the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and then you can remember it. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Okay, so, you read the next part.
When I think something is important, you think it's important too.
Mm-hmm.
We have good ideas. When I say something funny, you laugh. I think I'm funny, and you think I'm funny too. That's pretty important in a dear friendship, because if you don't think you're funny and they don't think you're funny,
It's not
then
gonna work.
nothing's. You're not ever
Also,
laughing.
Haley and I really think we're funny together,
and we
like
think
Maris,
each other are funny.
Maris is like, y'all aren't that funny,
I know.
because we'll tell him a story that we like cracked up about, and he doesn't even break.
Do you
Okay.
know the other day when we were having that not baby shower for our friend Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
and we were blaring Casey Musgraves? And you can imagine after 17 years of best friendship that we have a lot of inside jokes. We have a lot of weird shit we do behind closed doors. We're living in an alternate universe mostly.
100%.
So Casey Musgraves' song comes on, and you and I start doing something that we think's really funny, thinking that no one can hear us.
Not thinking. I think. I don't think that. I think we did it because we always do it, not
Yeah.
even thinking twice about it.
yeah,
That
and
it's funny.
But that's what I mean. Like, I wasn't doing it. We weren't doing it to be funny.
It's just how we sing that song.
Yeah, and then
Hannah
what
was
is
like,
it? Running over fences.
oh yeah, because
hopping
it's like
over backwards.
it's her song.
Love is a wild thing.
But she does this part. We never know the words, and so we're like running over fences, jumping through the front yard, dancing in a palm tree. Like, we make it up every time,
But we just riff and go nuts, and we say the most random stuff.
and we
then
think it's
Hannah
so funny.
walked in and was like, "What you doing in here, guys?"
Okay, anyways, so the next part says, I like you because you know where I'm ticklish and you don't tickle me there, except just a little tiny bit sometimes. But if you do, then I know where to tickle you too. You know how to be silly. That's why I like you. Boy, are you ever silly. I never met anybody sillier than me till I met you. I like you because you know when it's time to stop being silly. Maybe day after tomorrow, maybe never. Too late, it's 1/4 silly. But that's true, too.
It is. You can be really silly together, but also you know when to stop being silly.
And sometimes it's never.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get together and it's just silly 100%.
And sometimes, yeah.
It's 1/4 silly. Okay, you read the next part.
Sometimes we don't say a word. Can we just say that too? That's
Like when we were
that's
floating
when
the
you
river
know.
and you just are silent, but you're together and it's real nice.
And whenever we're like working on something, and sometimes we'll get in a huge conversation, but sometimes,
It's silent.
sometimes we don't say a word. We snirkle under fences. We spy secret places. If I'm a goofus on the roofus hollering my head off, well, you're one too. And if I
Gotta match
pretend,
the energy. Oh my God.
if I pretend I'm drowning, you pretend you're saving me.
Let me say this. How like perfect
Accurate.
this book
It's a
is
lot.
because when I have a pool at my parents' house, and growing up when Haley would come over and swim for hours, we would play this game when we were young.
That's
Of
dumb.
her acting like she was drowning and me trying to save her for hours.
And then we'd switch.
Okay, anyways, it's
So
just
dumb.
funny that it's
It's
actually
in the book.
We could have written this.
If I'm getting ready to pop a paper bag and you're getting ready to jump,
Hooray! That's because you really like me. You really like me, don't you? And I really like you back. And you like me back. And I like you back. And that's the way we keep on going every day. If you go away, then
Aw.
I go away too. Or if I stay home, you send me a postcard. You don't just say, well, I'll see you around sometime. Bye. I like you a lot because of that. If I go away, I send you a postcard too. And I like you because if we go away together and if we're in Grand Central Station and if I get lost, then you're the one that's yelling for me.
Love that part. It's so specific.
And so
You're the one that's yelling for me.
I always said it'd be fun to get kidnapped together.
Oh, God, they wouldn't know what to do.
Okay, you do the next part.
I love that part. And I like you because when I'm feeling sad, you don't always cheer me up right away.
Ooh.
You can't stand the others being so googly.
No, sometimes it's better to be sad.
I'm sorry. That's a
You
good
don't
line,
always
too.
cheer me up right away. Sometimes it's better to be sad.
Oh, my gosh.
Just sit with each other.
This is so sweet, y'all.
Okay, read the next part.
You can't stand the others being so googly and gaggly every single minute. You want to think about things. It takes time.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all, cry.
It's the sweetest book. You gotta buy it for your best friend. Okay, then it says, I like you because if I'm mad at you, then you're mad at me too. It's awful when the other person isn't. They're so nice and ooh-hoo. You could just about punch them in the nose. I like you because if I think I'm going to throw up, then you're really sorry. And how many times have we held each other's hair and been really sorry?
I love it. What's the next part? You don't just pretend you're busy looking at the birdies and all that. You say,
maybe it's something you ate.
you say, maybe it was something you ate. You say, same thing happened to me one time.
And the same thing did?
And the same thing did. Oh my
That is the cutest. If you find 2 4-leaf clovers, you give me 1. If I find 4, I give you 2. If we only find 3, we keep on looking. Sometimes we have good luck and sometimes we don't.
If I break my arm
And if you break your arm too, then it's fun to have a broken arm. When we
That's
both
one
had
of
the flu
and we pushed our beds together.
and we just watched dumb movies all day and we're like,
Through
it's
the
kind of
Kleenex
fun
box.
having the flu.
Yeah. And then your parents were like, I think y'all are not sick anymore. Get up.
Watching, what's that show? Taters, french fried taters.
Sling Blade.
Yeah, I always call it Switchblade.
Yep.
Okay, and then it says,
Then it's fun to have a
Broke up.
broken arm.
I tell you about mine, you tell me about yours, and we're both sorry. We write our names and draw pictures. We show everybody, and they wish they had a broken arm too. I like you because I don't know why, but everything that happens is nicer with you.
Oh,
I can't remember when I didn't like you.
This is too sweet.
It must have been lonesome then. Oh, I like you because I forget why I like you, but I do. So many reasons.
On the 4th of July, I like you because it's the 4th of July. On the 5th of July, I like you too.
If you and I had some drums and some horns and some horses, if we had some hats and some flags
I'm
and
hearing
some
the song.
fire engines, we could be a holiday. We could be a celebration. We could be a whole parade.
See
what I mean? Even if it was the 999th of July.
Even if it was August.
Even if it was way down at the bottom of November.
Even if it was no place particular in January.
I would go on choosing you.
And you would go on choosing me.
Over and over again.
And that's how it would happen every time.
I don't know why.
I guess I don't know why I really like you.
Why do I like you? I guess I just like you because I like you.
I like you.
Is that
Oh
not
my
the
God.
freaking sweetest?
That just brought so much joy to my heart.
I haven't read it all the way through in a long time because
There are
the
some
song
really good
when we
parts.
wrote the
Yeah.
song,
We
it's a
couldn't
long
say the whole
song
thing.
because we tried to put as many parts that we loved in it, but we couldn't put the whole book in. It is
But in the bridge when we're like, we could be a holiday, it really gets you crunk.
And do you remember that song "Home" by Edward Sharpe and the
Yes, yes,
Magnetic
yes.
Zeros? That was like
And they're like,
Jade Alexander. Okay, we did a part that was like,
Haley?
and then we'd
That
say,
was the part.
even if it was the 999th of July,
Even if it was no place particular in November.
even if
Yeah.
it was way down in August, like we did that part too. But the whole song is like super word for word what that is because it was so meaningful to us.
Because there's something really beautiful, I think, not only just about like kids and their simplistic view of things, but like that cuts to the core of it. Like it is very silly, but
simple.
the simplicity of it is so pure that you get it. It goes right to the core. I mean, even those little dumb things, they're all a part of our friendships. You know?
Yeah, like when you throw up, then when I throw up, you're really sorry.
Yeah, and I say same thing happened to me one time. And it did.
And I think that's what's also so cute about the wording is it is really simple and sweet. And it's like, when I find 4, I give you 2. If we find 3, we keep on looking. Like, it's nothing deep, and then it's so deep.
Yeah, it's like
about friendship.
The consideration that comes from that purity, like as when we were a child, like that's what kids would do.
So guys, we recommend going and buying I Like You by Sandal Stoddard Warburg. And if you have a dear friend,
give it to them.
It is the sweetest little sentiment of what friendship really is and how special a dear friend is. And so I hope this was a short little bright spot in your week. And if you get the book or if you liked it, message us and let us know at dearfriend.podcast on Instagram. And if you're watching on YouTube, comment below and subscribe and like our videos. And we will we will talk to you guys next week.
And listen, we like you.
Oh, and we don't know why. We just do. Have a good week.